Bad bitch. Yeah. All about to go get the bag, bitch. Yeah. Type to make 'em mad, bitch. Yeah. She know she a first, they just average. She a bad, bad, bad bitch. Bad, bad, bad bitch. Type to make 'em mad, bitch. Yeah. She know she a first, they just average. Bad, 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 bad. Bad, bad, bad,
Welcome everyone to another Baddies ATL after show, episode 4. And we got really deep this episode, but I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. I don't have my co-host with me, but once again, if you would like to join in the conversation, you can go to this link that you see below, bit.ly/baddies EP4, and we can get you up here. So I'm definitely looking for people to chime in. If you don't want to call in, you can always chime in on the comments and let me know what you think. But let's just go right into this episode. All right, so it starts at the very beginning where we left off from the last episode. We had Natalie and Christina. They were fighting yet again, and I was kind of over it, honestly. So I was happy to see that it didn't really go anywhere. There was, they spent a little bit of time on that, but and it was kind of funny to see Christina try to run up real quick. Like she knows she's not getting past. They have the security is coming in super fast, and I kind of get it because it's not Bad Girls Club. They're not trying to fight. They're really trying to, as you saw throughout the episode, later on in the episode, it's clear that they're not here for that. And I mean, so let's skip ahead a little bit because, they call for a meeting and they're talking about how they can improve the show or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it comes to, you can see that they had the Natalie and Sarah had a conversation before their meeting, and Natalie was basically like, "Hey, you're right. Maybe we should use some of your ideas. We should do that." It sounded like she was talking about the boot camp thing. That was being Sarah's idea. So at the meeting, Sarah decided to bring, or it wasn't at the meeting. Natalie brought it up at the meeting, and then in the confessional, Sarah was like, "Oh, that was my idea." So first of all, why couldn't you? Why didn't you feel like you couldn't say that? Um, but my whole thing is with that is I wonder what Christina's contribution was, because while they were arguing, Natalie was saying something like, "Yeah, we've been talking on the phone for months about this project, blah blah blah." So I wonder if that was these 4 episodes. What if that was Christina's contribution? Like, look, we can do something. If you need someone to fight you, I'll do it, and I'm only gonna pull your wig off, but you need to make me a producer or something. I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but I want to know what Christina's contribution was. It's clear that Sarah does a lot of work. And it makes sense for Sarah to be a producer because she's also been on a bunch of these shows right alongside Natalie. And it's clear that they've been friends for a long time. Even back on Sarah's season, like they knew each other already. When Natalie would call into the BGC house, it seemed like they already kind of knew each other. But what I say that to say, like, it's weird that Christina got the producer credit on this one, because this is her first appearance on TV, right? Since Bad Girls Club, she hasn't been on any of the spinoffs. Let me take that back. The Conversation was her first appearance, not this. And I guess that's why she was all buddy buddy with Christine. Natalie and Christina were all buddy buddy because she was trying to get that producer credit. But I feel like Judy should definitely have a producer credit. It was interesting to say that. It was interesting to hear Judy say, maybe next time around you guys should listen to me. But she didn't really say a lot at the board meeting. I really wish that she did speak up a little bit more. That way we could hear some more of her ideas. But I totally get it. Like Judy, she had said already before they went to the board meeting that she was over it. It seemed like she was already thinking about leaving, so she really didn't contribute too much to that conversation. But in the confessional, when she said, maybe you should have listened to me, like that made me really interested in hearing what her ideas for Baddies ATL would have been. And it would definitely make more sense for her to be a producer on the show than Christina. But who knows? Every show, not every show, but shows have those, like, I don't know what you call them, like silent producers, where they don't say that they're just in the background collecting the producer money, but they're not like credited or anything. I know that happens sometimes. So really, in the beginning, it seemed like they were saying all of the girls were going to have some kind of producer credit. So it's interesting that only 4 of them do. And I liked how they were talking about bringing on new girls already. So they're setting it up already for people to be able to like come in and out of these shows, just like all these reality shows on VH1. I know that I guess that was one of Judy's ideas. She said she wanted it to kind of be like Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I mean, so far it kind of seems like that. I don't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. I've seen like an episode or two here and there. So I mean, to me, it seems like it's kind of the same thing. It's just like, I mean, here's the thing. It's like how bad can they really get? And I mean, when I say that, I mean like how bad can the fights really get? And that was the main difference to me from when because I just checked out Real Housewives to see how it was, and to me it just seemed like a tamer version of Bad Girls Club, but of course it would have to be. So I feel like that is what it kind of already is. So maybe there's something. So if anyone is here in the comments or is watching, let me know. Do you watch Real Housewives? Like, how can we make this more like Real House? I guess maybe just no one is in the house together. I don't know. If that's really what it is, then I don't know. Judy, definitely let your ideas be heard. I think that everyone was throwing out ideas, and maybe because you aren't listed as a producer, you felt like you couldn't come forth with your ideas. Who knows? But that's what I'm saying. I wish that we could have heard and included more of your ideas in the show. And I feel like definitely you have, I don't know. Well, Christina didn't have any ideas either that anyone heard. So that's why I'm super confused as to who's really responsible for what part of the production. But so I do want to get, they had a lot of drama, not a lot of drama, just a lot of tea, I guess, happen within this conversation. And it kind of seemed like it seemed like they told the girls, hey, we need to have one of those, like we have to have one of those tear-jerker episode kind of things, because everything just one after the other was just like they were trying to like outdo each other with how depressing, like, not that it's not important to say this stuff, I get it, but they started coming out one after the other trying to see like, oh, who has the most depressing story kind of thing. And I thought it was funny, like, not funny, but everyone could see that Sarah was, what she was complaining about wasn't really as deep as it should have been. But you never know what people are going through. Like, it could be really deep to her. She was crying. Like, I didn't hear any of the other, I didn't see any of the other girls really crying, like when they were telling their story. And this was something that, so I don't know, but you can't say that her feelings are less important than what Sydney was saying or what Christina was saying. Like, yeah, they are important too, but I don't know. As far when Seven said, maybe, Sarah needs to be better at reading the room, I can see that. Like, but she was already in the middle of crying. She's a producer, and she doesn't even have to say that. She hasn't really been using that, like in the car when was it in the car? I don't know. When Tanisha was like, "Oh, are you executive producer? Then shut up," or something like that. when she was trying to get the guy to turn off the camera, or I guess point it away from her or something. She said something like that, and I thought that was funny. And yeah, but what am I trying to say? I was really excited to hear some names brought up. They were thinking about bringing some people on, like I was saying earlier, and they mentioned Kat. I would be really excited if she joined. I think, are they talking about season 2 already, or are they talking about later on in this season? Because we know Megan comes. I feel like if it were later on this season, like, then Kat would have definitely been at the premiere, but she wasn't there. Even Megan was at the premiere. So who knows if they're talking about next season or whatever. Maybe Megan does join. Maybe she didn't want to be in the house, and they were like, okay, well, maybe season 2 will let them all branch out into their own houses, and that's when you can join. I don't know, but I was also curious. I don't know if anyone caught it, if there were any clues as to who she was talking about, but when they were all suggesting people, Sarah suggested the twins. Now, what twins are she? What twins is she talking about? Is she talking about the Victor twins or the Claremont twins? So someone said, did Seven and Sarah fight in this episode? No, Daryl, they did not fight in this episode. There is a preview for next week's episode, and that's where they get into a fight. They didn't really show what the fight was about, so I'm really interested to see how all this escalates in one episode. I think that'll be super interesting. The preview did look good. If this was, back in the BGC days, like, you could tell sometimes they had one of those like filler episodes in between like the fighting episodes, and this definitely seemed like one of those filler episodes. That's all I meant, like, by they wanted to have one of those sad episodes, not drama episodes. I don't know, but yeah, next week's episode looked really good. I'm really excited for next week. It seems like they are, just like they said in this, like, they're forgetting what it's about. It's about the brand, blah, blah, blah. But that's what people want to see. And that's what we're getting next week. I'm really excited about next week's episode. I'm not excited because it seems like Judy might be leaving soon. Like, was this her last episode? Like, does she leave? I hope they have an episode of her like saying bye and shit. I don't know, because a lot of people like to just pack up and go. So I hope she doesn't try to pull one of those. But yeah, if you're tuned in, I see I got a couple people. Reminder, you can join in on the conversation by going to this website down here, bit.ly/BaddiesEP4, and you can come up here and talk about the episode with me. And if you don't want to be on video, that's fine. You can turn off your video. You can just be on audio, or, I mean, however you want to do it is fine. But what else can I say about this episode? I did like how, I don't know, it seemed like they I thought it was really funny because I've seen that clip of them in the car when Tanisha was saying, like, oh, I'm gonna get you kicked out, or I don't know what she was saying, but there was a clip of that on, I think it was on Instagram. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but that was a really funny scene. And I don't know who the guy was in the front. I think he's one of the producers, or I don't know if he's one of the hair and makeup people. But when he was like, oh, Sydney, you want to try to act like a dude or whatever, then I don't know what he said, but he was like, oh, if you're not treating them like a lady, then I'll be the one. I don't know. He made it seem like he was about to fight her or something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really curious to see what people think about that, because would it be wrong for that guy to fight Sydney? That's what I want to know. I wish there was a poll here. But yeah, Sydney was back to being annoying old Sydney after they went to the club. Oh, let me talk about that though. That club scene reminded me of the old school BGC edits when they would be in the club. It was kind of, and first of all, Zeus, take a look at my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of videos from when I've seen the Claremont twins at the club. I saw Dream Doll at the club. Um, and I feel like I could do those edits in the club. Hire me. That's what I'm trying to say. If you need an editor, check out my YouTube channel. But definitely that gave me some flashbacks to the old BGC days, so that was cool. But as soon as they got back into the car, and I feel like even though they're all supposed to be older, I feel like Sydney has regressed into into how she was back when she first wanted to be on Bad Girls Club, because now she's trying to do all the things, because that was always a thing on BGC. Like, they would go to the club and there would be a limo fight, right? That was always a thing. So I feel like Sydney wants her limo fight moment, but there it's like Natalie and Tanisha, they are not allowing that. They don't like the fighting in the van. It's always no, actually, I take that back. Natalie was yelling at Judy, and then this time Tanisha was yelling at Sydney, but it's always about them. That's what I'm saying in the car. But I think the producers were also being super messy by having them sit together. How does that happen? If you know that if you're the EPs and you know that you don't want them fighting in the van, why wouldn't you put extra effort into making sure they're not sitting next to each other in the cramped van? And they had room between them, so it wasn't like cramped. I'm just saying, like, they didn't have to be in the same row. You could have fixed that. Or is that what they wanted? But how can it be what they wanted if the executive producers are not happy? Which is why sometimes in the back of my mind, it's like, is this really what they just wanted to have these moments so they could complain about it? I don't know. It's interesting. Who knows what goes on in the minds of these producers. You got to do what you got to do. But sometimes it seemed like they weren't trying to film. And I mean, Tanisha really seemed like she wasn't trying to let them film in the van. So how come stuff always happens in the van? Like, they can't get it together. Like, it's really just Sydney every time. Even though Natalie was yelling at Judy, Sydney was the one that provoked it. Like, as you can see, that's everything. Judy's really been quiet, and I feel bad because I feel like Judy shouldn't be so quiet. She responds a lot to Sydney, but Sydney is I don't know. Sydney is a bully, but I do appreciate how recently on Instagram, Sydney did come up with a post saying, "Hey, I just want to clarify. I don't think Judy is transphobic, blah, blah, blah." That was nice to see. And it's interesting because then Judy did post something also on Instagram saying, like, "Hey, we've been friends for years, blah, blah, blah. We just get into fights, blah, blah, blah." That's why I'm super confused. If this happens in their real lives too. So I wonder how would they be if they were producers of the show, how it would play into how the show was run. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I feel like especially, I don't know, this season of Baddies reminds me a lot of BGC 13. Because that's what they were trying to do on season 13 too. They were trying to make it all about business. It was going to showcase how, I guess, I don't know. They were talking about how Kat was running her brand or whatever. So I guess that's kind of what they want to do. And that's what they were doing on BGC 13. So I feel like this is kind of like a continuation of that. But the only difference is Judy isn't part of the team. Like, it used to be, Natalie, Sarah, and Judy. The three of them were like the trio, and there's no trio anymore. And that's what I really wanted to see. Even though I am happy to see some of the other faces on there, I feel like those should have been. I mean, and Tanisha too, but yeah, with Tanisha, those should have been the four producers. So really, yeah, it just didn't make sense for Christina. I don't know what Christina had to do to get that producer title. Maybe, holding Natalie's hand in the conversation really paid off. And you know what? If you are tuning into this, if you have Zeus, definitely go back and watch the conversation because I actually rewatched it again earlier today. I watched both 1 and 2, and I thought some of the stuff that they're talking about kind of makes a little more sense now. I forget what specific part I'm talking about, but they're basically talking about starting this. You know what I'm saying? About how Natalie called Tanisha first, and then that's when I don't know. I just thought it was super interesting to kind of like piece the things together. But yeah. Once again, I'm very excited for next week's episode. What did I miss? What did I not? I guess it's cool that they were talking about Seven. If they want to start a business, Seven could definitely start like a surrogate business. She'll just be pregnant for all the bad girls that don't want to get pregnant. Like it seemed like that's what was going on. That's a good business move. I mean, why not? I don't know. This seemed like, I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like, and every episode, every show has those filler episodes. So that's what I really felt like this episode was. I'm not interested. I mean, unless they're really gonna go in depth. Why did they? It is important, but like they kind of just mentioned it and then like didn't talk about it again. But like Tanisha and Natalie having miscarriages and Christina being addicted to Percocet and Sydney. The thing is, who knows with Sydney sometimes? Because I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying Baddies ATL needed more bad girls, to be honest. Yes, exactly. And I feel like they knew that, and that's what the meeting was about too. They were like, who else can we bring on here? So I do have a question for you though. Is it Luis or Luis? Who do you think? What twins was Sarah talking about when she said she wanted to bring the twins? But okay, so let's backtrack though because Sydney, I don't know. I haven't caught. Has there really been like a lie that you've seen that you've had proof that they told? Everyone always likes to say Natalie is a liar, but I can see how things might get like when you play phone tag, stuff gets misconstrued and messages get like mixed around. Like, so without any doubt, is there something that that they lied about? And Judy says it all the time, like I never lie. Sarah says it all the time, like I never lie. And usually when I think about the stuff they say, it always adds up usually. But Sydney was on the Breakfast Club talking to Charlemagne the God, talking about how she had she had surgery, like bottom surgery or whatever. But then she was on Love and Hip Hop, and her whole storyline on Love and Hip Hop was her going to the doctors asking about getting surgery. And this was after the Charlemagne interview. So it's like, she lies for TV all the time. That's what I'm saying. So I don't even trust anything that she says, honestly. So you think she was talking about Danny and Gabby? I don't like them at all, but they do know how to stir the pot. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's definitely more Danny than Gabby. I don't think that has Gabby even done any. I guess she did the All-Star season, I think. But I don't think Gabby would be interested in doing it. Maybe Danny. So for her to say the twins, I was thinking it was the Claremont twins, but you might be right. I think she is friends with them. Someone said, had we had Jada, Red, or Erica from BGC 9, it would give us what we needed. I agree with Red. No, not Red. Not Red or Jada. I just agree with Erica. I'll agree with Erica. If Erica was there, it would give us what we need. Red should not be allowed anywhere near Natalie. And actually, it was funny when I was watching the conversation. If you remember watching the conversation, you know that Jada threw Natalie's wig in the pool. And then afterwards, if you remember, Natalie was like upstairs, like saying, "All right, you guys are done," blah blah blah. And Natalie was like, "No, with the Zeus Network, Jada, you're done with the Zeus Network." And so I don't think Jada is gonna be on Baddies at all, like even in the future. And Jada was annoying to me anyway, so I really wasn't. I didn't care. I wouldn't care if she was on here. I mean, I would rather her not be on here. Seven and Sarah fight next episode. Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see that because Seven, for the most part, seems cool, calm. Like she was one of the peacemakers. Remember, she was with Janelle trying to talk some sense into Christina. So it's really interesting to see what will cause Seven to be the one that wants to fight. So I'm really excited to see that. But yeah, definitely I don't want to see Jada or Red on here. They were them being with Natalie on BGC 13 was enough. But who else do you all want to see? Anyone else in the comments have any suggestions for who they should add to season 2? I did see that they had some picture with Low London on Baddies. Kristen from season 5, I feel like should definitely be on there, especially if Amber is going to be on there, because Tanisha did suggest Amber join. You can't have Amber without Kristen. Well, I guess you can. They were on the same season or anything, but I'm saying, weren't they both on the? They were on the other after show together, I think. You should add Will Marie. It would be good. I don't think she's really done anything since her season, has she? I know she was on Orange is the New Black and stuff like that. So I know she does like TV stuff, but I wonder if she would actually want to do some Bad Girls Club type stuff, because I don't know. I feel like a lot of girls from season 6, they don't have them doing a lot of stuff after. I wonder why that is. I think I read something about it. Does anyone here know why? I don't know. So who's famous? Who's still doing stuff from season 6? I know BGCT will post a lot of stuff about Ashley more than any of the other girls, I feel like, from season 6. Who else was big on season 6? But I definitely agree with that. Someone asked, are you watching the episode on live? I am not watching the episode on live. It is just a review. And I changed up the thumbnail, so maybe people would give me more thumbs up. And I wonder if that'll also make me lose viewers, though. So hopefully, can you all please give me a thumbs up now, since it is definitely clear from the thumbnail that it's a review. You know what I'm saying? Give me that thumbs up. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like it. Oh, I already said that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time there's a new video every week on Sundays at 7:30, because that's when we are here for the after show. And, you know, I do it for you. I do it for the people. And I want your voice to be heard. I always can call in. So definitely, I had some people in the comments last week saying they wanted to contact me because they wanted to get on the show. And I told them, I responded and I said, hey, just tune in next week. We'll put the URL up on the screen and you can call in. Off topic, but are you going to watch Mayweather versus Logan Paul? Well, I thought it was super weird that in the official rules, it's like there's going to be no announced winner. So I wonder don't people usually bet on fights? So how is that going to work? I don't get it. I'll probably see the, it's like pay-per-view. I'm probably not going to pay for it. I'll probably watch the clips on YouTube tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like I definitely would have liked to see, if it was Jake Paul, maybe I would be more excited to watch that, because I know Mayweather has been wanting to kill him for taking the hat or whatever for that for that stunt that he pulled. But so no, I'm not gonna watch it, but it doesn't really count. It's not a real fight. There's gonna be no winner, so they're just gonna be doing a performance basically, is what I feel like. They probably like rehearsed what they were gonna do. He is a YouTuber, you know what I'm saying? And I watched the little ad and he was like, "Oh, I think the whole like YouTuber thing is gone." And it's not. You mentioned it. So that makes you still a YouTuber, because if you really weren't, you wouldn't even said the word YouTube. But yeah. So that is the after show. Thank you everyone for questions next week, and be ready to call in, because I definitely want to hear from all the people that watch the show. I want to hear other perspectives. I know that my perspective and that might not always be the right perspective, but the more we can talk about these things together, the more maybe we can learn to understand each other better, and that's what's up. So someone said, not gonna lie, it would be a cool thing. It would be cool to bring in other females on the shows that can hold their own. For example, Cam from The Challenge or Davon from Big Brother. What you're talking about? Wait, is Davon? Well, I don't know. That's a girl. I guess it must be. I feel like that's part of the plan. I feel like they definitely want to bring in girls from other. Well, I don't know. Do you feel like Sydney being on Baddies is well received as of right now, or do you think not really? I feel like they're gonna base it based on how well people reacted to Sydney being on there, but a lot of people were, I mean, not really bullying, but a lot of people are in the comments saying that they don't like that Sydney was on it because she wasn't a bad girl. And this is not the same. So I feel like maybe they don't want to continue doing that, having that kind of negative publicity about it. Not really. She's kind of tainted the Baddies idea. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. People were not happy about that. So I don't think that that's something that they want to continue doing. I feel like if more of the viewers were like, "Oh, she was a great addition," like maybe they would be, but she wasn't really that great of an addition. So, I mean, right now, maybe deems herself somehow. I mean, she is talking about some like important issues or whatever. I know she's, talks a lot about, like, she's trying to be kind of like an activist too, and I get it. That's cool and all, but at the same time, go on the. I'm sure Zeus is gonna if Love and Hip Hop gets canceled, Zeus is gonna make like a Heart and Music ATL, and she could have been on that. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? Maybe that's what's going to happen in the future. Maybe they will kick her off, and maybe that'll be a whole big thing. Like, all right, we gotta let you go, Sydney. Who knows? I don't know. Really excited about next week. Hope you are too. Make sure you're tuned in, and once again, make sure you are subscribed. All right, make sure you give us a like, share it with your friends, so I can get more likes than dislikes. Because the last couple after shows or review videos I've done have been getting more dislikes. And so I'm trying to make it clear now, and I hope that it is clear with everyone. But we are going to be back next week because, as you saw, there's going to be a new episode. And make sure you're tuned in right here, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. I'll see you then. All right. Have a good one, everyone.